Aloha everyone, this is Mitchell Ornelas, resident osteopathic family physician here in Seattle, Washington. Journal number 10 coming at you. Again, thank you everyone for supporting this video we continue to do for Indigenous Minded YouTube channel. Gonna get right into it. So I basically just finished my last full week about patient pediatrics. I have a short week coming up and I jump right into inpatient pediatrics, which is going to be at Seattle Children's Hospital for me starting Wednesday. So last week, on Monday, I was at my location, West Seattle. It was kind of a full day. I got to work with another physician, kind of learn his style. Is kind of a younger doc from Arizona. It was really cool. He gave me a lot of pearls. I wrote those down. So it was a really good day. Had that, and then Tuesday had the chance to work with one of our psychiatrists at one of our other sites, one of our main camp sites, and the morning with him, saw a patient, inpatient with him, kind of saw his intake process. He kind of threw out some pearls for me too, in general for psychiatry. Saw a patient in clinic. It was kind of interesting because the patient had an old diagnosis of dissociative identity disorder. And the doctor I was working with was like, that diagnosis was more kind of a thing in the past. It's not so much a thing now. He's like, the patient that we saw, we ended up seeing him, he's, if anything, more dementia type thing that we're kind of thinking along with him. But the wife is so adamant, which is like his caregiver, that he has different personalities. And he basically came to us as follow-up because he had hyponatremia from polydipsia. So he's drinking too much water. So we kind of tried to address some of those things, which is interesting with the doc I was working with. He's kind of a consult to the primary care doc. So had some resources available, some things that we kind of talked about with the patient, but I don't think there was a lot of things that they wanted with what we had to say. But we tried to address a few things. His big thing, he's not like there as like a private psychiatrist. He's there to kind of as an adjunct, and it's kind of interesting. It's really tough with a lot of patients, depending on the insurance coverage you have, which we know. Medicaid, sometimes you can get some good inpatient and some resources, but a lot of patients on Medicare don't have a lot of resources in psychiatry, mental health, dental too as well. So I had that. We had didactics, and didactics was at the big auditorium, and we had some cases presented. Some presentation from one of my uppers about exercise and its role with I think depression, and just going over a lot of the data that he researched. And there is some good data. I think his recommendation was basically 3 to 5 days a week, do what you like. About 45 minutes of activity has shown some improvement with depression. And some other presentations. I don't want to bring it up real quickly, just to make sure I'm not missing anything I want to talk about. The aging of HIV. Okay, yeah, so in the older population, knowing that HIV is prevalent in all populations. One of our preceptors, she's a geriatrician, or she has a fellowship in geriatrics, and we had some good resources to look at. There was an interesting video. So grayingofaids.org, that was a good one. Yeah. So we talked about that. Talked about polypharmacy. Its effects, especially in the older population, geriatrics, errors, not adherence, and kind of the beers list that we talked about. And we had kind of a fun game where it was beer pong. You're trying to, it's like a Jeopardy type. Well, yeah, you're trying to get trivia type thing. You're trying to get the answers right, and you get a chance to shoot. So that was fun. That was interesting. And then that was pretty much that. And then that night I had a team clinic again, which I have one more time coming up. And I think I had one patient. Similar situation. The younger patient, just trying to connect with them. I think they're generally healthy. and just had to go over some of the meds that they're taking. They are actually in an MVA, so they had some like back pain, and just looking over some of the meds and some of the things that we can offer. And that kind of ties into clinic. So I had clinic Wednesday. Didn't have much. I was able to do some things, paperwork things. I think one of the docs I was supposed to work with wasn't available. But what I really want to talk about is Thursday, Friday. So Thursday I had a good amount of patients coming to see me for looking for manipulative treatment, osteopathic manipulative medicine, which I'm very open to using as a DO, primary care DO. So I've been getting more referrals towards me, being like one of the first DOs and only DO in my clinic. So I was able to work with a few patients and had some good results using a lot of techniques I like to use in general. A lot of cervical like stretching, kneading, muscle energy counter strain, and really good improvement. One patient was really impressed, and she had a lot of surgeries cervically in her lumbar, and she improved with treatment. She wants to come back. She's excited. Had a fibromyalgia patient. It was a little bit tough, just because with fibromyalgia they have so many sensitive tender points and everything, but I was able to do a little bit of light techniques and just kind of work through some of the pain that they're having, and she did feel better. I talked about kind of my philosophy with healing, not just the body, mind, and spirit. And she's planning to come back to see me, which is great. See if there's anything else interesting. Got to do a knee injection, so that was great. Got that procedure in. And then, Friday I had some more patients. Some didn't show up in the morning. Did some vaccinations. We had to do some well-child exams, which was great to see. It was a healthy baby, so that was great. I think those were kind of the highlights. I'm trying to think if there was something else. Had to order some labs, checking on that. Those are kind of the big things. And then fortunately, my significant other was able to come visit me this weekend, which was great. It was a little bit of a surprise. She wasn't really planning until later in the week, and it kind of worked out with flights. And so we spent some time this weekend, and it was kind of like my last weekend before I really hit the wards, starting out with pediatrics and the rest of the year coming. So that was great. We got to do some fun activities. Got to check out one of the good breakfast spots. It's called Biscuit Bitch. That was fun. We got to check out a great restaurant, like Asian restaurant. Dim Tum. It was like dim sum. Dim Tum Fung. Yeah, Dim Tin Fung. I kind of forget the name. It was out South Center Mall, so it was great. Did an underground tour of Seattle, so we got a little bit of the history of especially Pioneer Square, and there's 3 different tunnels we got to do. They briefly at the beginning talked about some of the native population here, so which is great. I'm glad they actually got to mention that a little bit, but it was really about a lot of the people that came in here, a lot of the mayors, and a lot of the interesting times that they had. They were able to pay for a lot of the stuff that they were doing construction wise. They're actually able to lift a lot of the buildings because the way Seattle was on a slope, and there was the water, and it was kind of a lot of logging and stuff, but they wanted to build up so they can have better roads and things like that. And they paid off a lot of it with a lot of the things that were happening in the city, like prostitution and a lot of other things that weren't were kind of popular or kind of normal for a frontier town at the time, and it helped pave the way for a lot of things. And they talked about the gold rush and how people came through here on their way to Canada and Alaska. So it was great history, kind of context. It's good for me. It's good for Misty to kind of hear and kind of learn about kind of where we're at, where we're living. So that was good. Didn't realize it, but Seattle is the 6th most rat-infested city or something like that in the nation. So fortunately, I haven't seen a lot of rats too much. I think I saw one, definitely, now I think about it, walking to the bus one morning or night. But I haven't seen as much as you'd think, being the 6th most or something like that. But yeah, so we got to do that. That was kind of the big highlights. Today, before she left, we went to Alki Beach Got some like fish and chips, got some ice cream, so that was fun before she had to leave, go back home. And also, I forgot to mention, Friday night I got to go visit some of my family back up north, Marysville, Everett, to check on things, see how things are going with my family, trying to be the best support as I can. Currently trying to work on getting our family closer together. My mom's considering moving this way, closer to where a lot of my sisters and family are up north. And just so we can be together and help each other as much as we can. And think it's a good area for us to be together. Well, I'm going to be here at least 3 years for residency, so, and moving forward. But yeah, so did that. Missy had to go to the airport. I came back. I went with her, came back on the rail. Got my workout in, got some groceries, doing laundry right now. It's getting ready for the week. So this week coming up, the way our blocks are work out, they kind of start on Wednesday. So I have my last couple days for the rotation, go back to West Seattle, get to work with a doc I didn't get to work with yet, at least once. I'll get to work with them on Tuesday. Then I have Country Doc. I think we have something maybe scheduled for didactics. It might be a little bit different. Country Doc, teen clinic at night. And then Wednesday morning, start orientation, start right away into Seattle Children's, and I'll start inpatient service. So a little bit nervous, excited, ready for the next step, and we'll go from there. So thank you everyone again for watching, liking, subscribing. Please share it, and this is a great journal for me just to kind of keep things going, and I just appreciate everyone's support. Very thankful for where I'm at. I'm trying to stay positive. One thing I noticed, it's really been helping is exercise, of course, makes me feel better. I feel more in tuned and excited and have more energy. My multivitamins, I take a multivitamin, garlic, and fish oil. And the fish oil has really been helping me. I feel better in general. I think it's the fish oil because there's some studies that show fish oil can kind of do something to help with mood. And I've been taking it for a while now. It was kind of part of my regimen, my supplement regimen I like to take, just vitamin wise. Just wanted to mention that. But all right, thank you everyone. Oh yeah, and I wanted to also mention everything we kind of, I didn't even mention a few other things. So which was great is we got to also check out a Polynesian festival that was happening. And there's a lot of Hawaii things in general. And we also went to Kauai Family Restaurant and Bakery, tried some guava cake or pie, so that was great. And just in Alki Beach, there's a lot of Hawaii stuff in general, so that was kind of cool. There's Hawaiian music playing, so it's kind of a reminder of my mission and the connection with Pacific Islanders, specifically Hawaiians, but Pacific Islanders, and here in the Northwest with a lot of Native people as well, because we're seeing that connection. So that was good for me. It was exciting for me. So all right. Thank you, everyone. Keep it Indigenous minded, keep it mission minded. Aloha.